Okay, it's 10:30. We'll get started. Well, first off, thank you all so much for being here. Welcome. It's so good to see you all, and thanks again for covering this. It's an important and big day for Wise County. I want to thank our various law enforcement officers and partners and agencies that are here with us today. Please let me, if I may, first and foremost, recognize the agency leaders who are here, and I'll take a moment if you'll need us to spell any of the last names for your reports. We'll do that. Wise County Sheriff Ronnie Oakes is behind me. He and his amazing team are working out in the field today. We're thankful to have with us Major Grant Kilgore and Lieutenant Charlie Sanders as well, who are present. We've got Virginia State Police First Sergeant Jack Baldridge. We're thrilled to have with us Norton City Police Chief James Lane, Town of Coburn Police Chief Scott Brooks, and Town of Wise Police Chief Danny French. Did I miss anybody? I got the whole crew here. And I want to also recognize my Commonwealth Attorney's Office team that are not here with us today. We've got several prosecutors in our office that have taken part in this operation and worked together to put this operation together, but they're in court prosecuting other cases this morning. And I want to specifically recognize our Chief Deputy Stephen Davis, our Senior Assistant Commonwealth Attorneys Josh Newberry, Nicole Price, Ken Lammers, and the rest of our team for their hard work in this effort. And I would be remiss if I didn't also recognize the paralegals and support staff that work behind the scenes to put together this day and the cases that we're moving forward on today. And before I go too much further, I want to also say how awesome it is when we have so many agencies coming together and working together. And it is so cool to see. Wise County has some amazing different agencies and officers, and it's so cool to see them working together in something as big as what's going on today. In just a few moments, I'm going to stop talking and see if any of the gentlemen behind me have anything to say. They might or might not, and if you all have specific questions for them, we'll be glad to take some time after the program and talk to them specifically. The purpose of today's conference is to detail the successful results of a drug-related mass arrest that we're dubbing the Operation Autumn Harvest. This morning, officers from all over Southwest Virginia and different law enforcement agencies combined forces to conduct a mass arrest of individuals who've been recently indicted by the multi-jurisdictional grand jury here in Wise. Officers are now in the field, out across our region, in Wise, in Norton, and throughout the various towns in our community, bringing these drug offenders to justice. We begin by praying for their safety, and we honor their hard work and their dedicated teamwork. Moreover, today's combined effort illustrates our continued resolve and our efforts in the fight against substance abuse and drug distribution. We're using the name Autumn Harvest for a couple reasons. First, our law enforcement agencies have dedicated hundreds of hours of time to put into these particular types of cases. Some cases they've been working on for months. Some cases they've been working on for years. As you know, complicated drug conspiracies and drug crimes take hundreds of hours to investigate, take collaboration between multiple agencies, and just putting together the cases and successfully prosecuting the cases takes a joint and team effort. It also takes working very hard to bring it to fruition, and I'm thrilled today to make public their hard work and to celebrate their efforts in putting this effort together. The charges today, and we're going to release them in just a moment, some of the names of individuals. You'll be sent a list. It's not in the press packet because we're still working on the names of individuals that are put together. But the names and the cases are part of an extensive investigation by the Southwest Virginia Regional Drug Task Force, the Wise County Sheriff's Office, the Virginia State Police, and the various other law enforcement agencies that are represented with us here today. Already, as of about 5 minutes ago, there were 15 of these drug offenders that were already in custody. The focus of this investigation has been over the course of several months and years to target the illegal use and sale of dangerous drugs, particularly synthetic narcotics and highly addictive prescription narcotics. We have 69 individuals that were specifically targeted for arrest today. Those individuals have been recently indicted by the multi-jurisdictional grand jury in over 80 indictments, charging approximately 170 different counts of drug offenses, ranging from everything from drug distribution, possession, manufacturing of illegal narcotics. And then, as we know, drug offenses spill over into a host of other kinds of cases. We see drug offenses also including conspiracy to distribute narcotics, child endangerment, contributing to the delinquency of a minor. We see maintaining a common nuisance charges, larceny, prescription fraud, and distribution of narcotics within 1,000 feet of a school. We have charged over 75 counts of distribution of Schedule I or Schedule II drug, mostly synthetic narcotics and highly addictive pain medication. We have 33 distributions charged of a Schedule III drug, mostly buprenorphine, which is commonly known as Suboxone or Subutex. As recently as reported in the Richmond Times-Dispatch, Southwest Virginia has a significant problem with this type of drug that's in some places called a miracle drug, but is abused in our area and overprescribed at a staggering rate. We also have 14 counts of these charges of distributing drugs near a school. So the prosecutors in my office and my team are working hard and joining together with these folks in the important task of prosecuting these cases, and we will do so aggressively. The officers behind us have worked hard, and they're out in the field working hard even still today in charging and arresting these individuals, and we likewise will work hard to bring these offenders to justice. That's the second reason why we're calling this Operation Autumn Harvest, because we believe in the principle of you reap what you sow. These offenders have been profiting from the sale and manufacture of dangerous narcotics and highly addictive drugs that are poisoning our community. These drugs are resulting in violent crime, in child abuse, in elder abuse, in thefts, and even death. We've seen recent examples of that in the news. These offenders will reap what they sow. These arrests are just the beginning. We'll be aggressive in our prosecution of these cases to make sure that we send a clear message that this behavior will not be tolerated in our community. For those who are poisoning our community with dangerous synthetic drugs and highly addictive medication, we're asking judges to fashion a sentence, a severe sentence, that will be based on what we think a jury in Wise County, the citizens, will give this particular offense. Earlier this year we had an example. In a jury trial, a jury of citizens made up of Wise County residents sentenced a gentleman to 15 years for the distribution of prescription narcotics because they're fed up with this type of behavior and because we recognize that this is a battle to save our community. It's a battle to save our community from the addiction that ruins lives, destroys families, and harms children. We're committed to working together to save our community and to eradicate illegal drug activity in Southwest Virginia. I think all of us will agree it's time for a harvest. This also is Red Ribbon Week. Now, many of you are familiar with Red Ribbon Week. It's a week-long celebration and a campaign to reach millions of individuals, especially young people across our country, with the message of drug prevention and substance abuse awareness. I want to celebrate the efforts of law enforcement officers. I know several of the agencies represented with us today have dedicated their resources. The Sheriff's Department and my office has sent individuals out into schools this week to raise awareness, to build relationships with students, and to offer encouragement of folks to stay away from drugs. But moreover, we're educating young people about the dangers of substance abuse. In particular, we're trying to raise awareness of how bad synthetic narcotics are and the effects that they produce on our children. Synthetic drugs, for instance, are marketed to young people in small, flashy packages. And a lot of times they're marketed at or around schools. These substances are highly addictive and highly dangerous. The side effects lead to things like sudden death, panic, paranoia, hallucinations. They have the potential to change someone's life instantly, change the very brain chemistry in their head. That's why we take this very seriously, and that's why we're committed to doing more on both sides of the aisle, working hard on the enforcement side through efforts like we have going on today, but also working hard in the awareness side, in the prevention side, through things like the Red Ribbon Campaign. These efforts demonstrate our effort to do more to fight drug dealing and substance abuse, both in the prevention side and in enforcement. In conclusion, I want to thank the law enforcement officers who are with us today, and I want to thank those who've worked hard behind the scenes that you don't see here today to make this day possible. The law enforcement officers in our community have dedicated hundreds of hours, countless hours, significant time, manpower, teamwork, and dedication to this effort. And they've worked very hard behind the scenes to make this a possibility. I want to recognize the agencies that are dedicating their manpower today to going out and arresting these offenders. We want to thank Sheriff Oaks and his department, the Wise County Sheriff's Office, the Virginia State Police, the town of Coburn Police Department, the town of Big Stone Police Department, the town of Wise Police Department, the city of Norton Police Department, the Southwest Virginia Regional Jail, the Southwest Virginia Regional Drug Task Force, our area social services agencies, and our probation department. And our court system is getting ready to have an influx of a whole bunch of new cases, and we're ready to take on that challenge and make sure that we bring these drug offenders to justice. We deeply care about our region's future, and that's why I want to take the time to thank the men and women of law enforcement who've dedicated their resources and their time to battling this important problem. And let me end by saying I want to promise the citizens who are watching and those who are listening, I want to promise and assure you that during my time as Commonwealth's attorney, we will continue to fight crime, and specifically drug dealing, substance abuse, and addiction. We're going to try to make our community even better, an even better place to live, work, and raise a family. And it starts through the dedicated officers and the efforts like these going on today. Thank you very much for your time. I'm going to take a moment to see if any of the officers want to say anything, and then we'll be glad to take questions if you want to do that here or if you want to do that offline. Gentlemen?
Thank you so much, you and your staff. I really appreciate it. I want to thank all the different agencies involved here today and their staff. They do a tremendous job, and it's great cooperation amongst all the departments. Thank you again.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Mr. Commonwealth Attorney, thank you so much.
Any gentlemen?
Thanks so much.
Thank you. All right, at this time, do y'all have any specific questions for us? Okay, I'll be happy to take any specific interviews offline, or maybe you can interview any of the rest of us. We'll conclude the press conference, and we will let you all know the names of the individuals who are scheduled to be arrested, and hopefully later on today, the number of individuals who've been arrested and how many are left to be arrested by the end of the day. I'm going to try to get that out to everybody at about 2 o'clock today, 2 or 2:30, so that you'll have time for your reports. So thank you very much.
Hey, Chuck.
Good. Yes, sir.
Was it 80?
It was 80 indictments.
80 indictments.
About 69 individuals. We had more specific that we thought were included in that, but because of conspiracies, we double counted. So it's going to be 69, 80 different indictments.
All right.
Thank you. Appreciate you. I'll send that to you.